This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Good evening, friends. So in this Business Intelligence Master Program, this is our 11th session. In this session, we are going to see the copy behaviors in Azure Data Factory. So we have a copy activity. So by using copy activity, we can copy the files in a different ways. Okay, in a different behavior, we can able to copy the data. What are the different copy behaviors we will see today? Okay, so fine. So in today's session, we will learn different scenarios that you can able to achieve it by using the copy behavior. Then what are the different copy behaviors we have? File path type. So file path type is basically if you want to copy multiple files, how you are going to copy. If you want to copy some part of the files in a folder, you have 10 files, but based on some logic, I want to filter out only some 4 files or 5 files, and I want to load it into the output container. How you can do that? Then we are going to see the data flow diagram, simple copy activity data flow diagram. Estimations we will do, prerequisites and required resources, as you know. Okay, with respect to demo, we will create the storage. We will upload files into the storage account. Then we will create Azure Data Factory v2. Okay, we will create the linked service for blob storage using integration runtime. Then we will create multiple data sets. Basically, today we are going to create only 2 data sets because I'm going to use only copy activity. Okay, next, create pipeline. We will create the pipeline, then we can debug the pipeline and we can run the pipeline. Okay, so once you run the pipeline, if you want to like monitor that particular execution details, so then you can able to monitor that pipeline as well. Okay, so these are the things we are going to learn. Let's see the scenario. See, first I want to read files from root folder and subfolder and copy files with the same structure as source. What it means, so it will be difficult for you to understand from the statement. That's why I just added some kind of a screenshot. Here you can see Cloud Pandit input is going to be my container. That is nothing but my folder. Inside that, I am going to upload a file called custard.csv. This is my file. Along with that, I have a folder, subfolder 1. Okay, so Cloud Pandit input you can consider as a root folder. Inside that, we have a folder called subfolder 1. Okay, under root folder you have 2 things. One is custard.csv is the file. Second one is subfolder 1 is the directory. It's nothing but another folder. Now you need to understand, under this subfolder 1 I have a one more file called emp.csv. Okay, now you see in a root folder you have 2 things. One is file, one is directory. In this subdirectory I have one more file. Now what I wanted to do is I want to copy exactly same structure in my output. Okay, so I will move same structure into my output. You see all the structure is available in a Cloud Pandit input container. Now in this we have a one file, we have a subdirectory. In subdirectory I have a file. Same structure I am moving into a my another folder called Cloud Pandit output. It is nothing but another container. Okay, I am moving files from Cloud Pandit input to Cloud Pandit output, but with the same structure. You see, under Cloud Pandit output, I will get a custard.csv. Under that, I will get the same folder name. Under that, I will get all the files which we have in a subfolder. Okay, so here you see same structure we got it here, but my root container name has changed. My root container name here is Cloud Pandit input. So from Cloud Pandit input, I moved all these files into Cloud Pandit output. Is this clear to all of you? This scenario is clear to all of you, friends? Can you confirm chat window? Or Parmesh clear, Murli, Sudhir Reddy, Ram. Okay, fine. So Ratnaraj, okay, fine. So you are clear, right? Now you see next scenario. So next scenario is read files from root folder and subfolder and copy files to a root folder. What it means? Same structure I have. Now my output, I want to see something like this. In a Cloud Pandit output container, I want to see custard.csv, emp.csv. I have a custard.csv directly in a root folder, but emp.csv I have in a subfolder. But I don't care where this particular file is available, but I want to get all these files into root folder. I want to get all these files into root folder. You can see. Okay, you can get all these files into root folder, but When you are copying files like this, remember your file names will not be same. Your file names will be changed. File name will generate dynamically. Okay, but file names will start with data underscore some kind of a unique IDs will be added. Data underscore some unique IDs will be added to make sure all files are unique. Okay, this is the second scenario where you have a like your source side same structure, whatever we discussed here. But only the thing is now when you copy data in Cloud Pandit output container, we are seeing two files in a root folder. Two files in a root folder, but file name has changed. File name has changed. Okay, fine. Next. Read files from root folder and subfolder, merge two files data. Let's say now you have same thing, Cloud Pandit input, custody.csv, subfolder one, emp.csv. Okay. Now what I wanted to do, I want to combine this custody.csv file and emp.csv file. Let's say you have 1 to 5 records in custody.csv, 6 to 10 records we have in emp.csv. Now, if you open this file, this file content is going to be 1 to 10 records. Total records will be there in this particular file. You are going to merge these two files content into a single file. Clear how I have done all these things? So these are the three different scenarios. Everybody is clear? Any questions as of now? Okay, if no question, let me move. Next thing, here when you are merging this particular file name, you can control it. You can tell, okay, this particular merged file, single file name, I want this. So that this particular file name you can customize. You can give whatever name you want to give. Okay, remember. Now I am going to the other scenarios. Okay, so these all are very minor changes that you need to do it in a copy activity to get these requirements to fulfill. Okay, fine. Now you see, read files from root folder and copy files with the same structure as source. Now you see, in Cloud Pandit input, I have two files. Root folder, I have two files. In a subfolder, I have one file. Now you see custody.csv, cust1.csv. I think by mistake I have written CSV, but it says CSV. Cust2.csv, cust1.csv. This is subfolder. Under subfolder, I have a emp.csv. Now you see, I move all these files to here. When you move all these files to here, you see I'm going to get only cust2.csv, cust1.csv, but I don't want to get emp.csv. I don't want to get emp.csv. So how you can do that, we will discuss. Okay, then here you see Cloud Pandit input. Here also same. By mistake I have, this is basically CSV, but by mistake it is written as SV. But this file I want to load it as a same cust2.csv, cust1.csv. I will load it into my Cloud Pandit output. I won't touch subfolder one. Okay, I won't touch subfolder one. I want to pick files from root folder only. These two file names now I am renaming. These names will be generated by your copy activity automatically. Okay, file names will be generated by your copy activity automatically. You cannot control. If you want same names, you need to go with this requirement. If you want to get a new names, okay, generated by copy activity, you need to go with this requirement. Next. Read files from root folder and merge two files data. Example, now you see cust.csv, cust1.csv, subfolder is emp.csv. Now I have these three, out of which I want to take only root folder files and I want to merge, meaning I want to take cust2.csv, cust1.csv. These two files I want to merge and I want to create a single file. Okay, data underscore xx.csv. Okay, something like this. I want to create a single file by merging cust.csv, cust1.csv, but I don't want to include emp.csv, which is there in a subfolder. Okay, these are the 6 scenarios I will explain now. Okay, very simple. Okay, you don't need to think too much. So very small minor changes that you need to do in a copy activity to fulfill all these requirements. Now come to copy behavior with recursive. So in a copy behavior, there is an option in copy activity called copy behavior. Okay, so you need to use that copy behavior Along with that, in source side, see copy behavior option will be there at sync side. Recursive option will be there at source side. Now, if you enable these two things, you will have all these options. All these options we will see one by one. So recursive is true. If you select recursive option, meaning if you enable the recursive option, and if you select copy behavior is preserve hierarchy, then let's imagine here we have a folder structure called folder 1, file 1, file 2, subfolder file 3, file 4, file 5. Now what happens is your resultant in target side, sync side, you will get same structure. You see folder 1, file 2, subfolder 1, file 3, file 4, file 5. Same structure which you have here, same structure is coming if you enable these two options in your copy activity side. If you enable recursive and copy behavior, if you make it as a flattened hierarchy, then what happens is under folder 1 you have file 1, file 2, under subfolder 1 you have a file 3, file 4. Now what happens, under folder 1 you will be able to see file 1, file 2, file 3, file 4. All the four files will be there under folder 1. Okay, there won't be subfolder, there won't be any subfolder. Directly file 1, file 2, file 3, file 4 will be there in a folder 1 with a new names. Auto generated names for file 1, file 2, file 3, file 4 will be given. It's not same name. If you have a custom.csv here, it will not show here it as a custom.csv. Names will be generated by your copy activity automatically. Okay. Next, let's say recursive is true. I am going to enable recursive is true, and copy behavior I will mark it as a merge files. I will select it as a merge files. Now merge files means, you see in a folder 1 you have a file 1, file 2, in the subfolder you have file 3, file 4. Now what it will do is recursive is true and merge files, meaning file 1, file 2, file 3, file 4. It will pick all these 4 files. It will add all the content of these 4 files and it will give you a single file. You see, the target folder 1 is created with the following structure. Folder 1, in a folder 1, what happens? File 1 plus file 2 plus file 3 plus file 4. Contents are merged into one file with a auto-generated file name. With the auto-generated file name, it will create a new file. Into that file, it will merge all the contents of these 4 files. Okay, clear? This is all about you need to enable the recursive. You are going to use these options. Copy behavior. Preserved hierarchy means exactly whatever structure we have source side, it will go to sync. Flatten hierarchy means if you have any subfolders, those will be removed. All files will come to your level 1, meaning under root folder. Merge files means doesn't matter where is your file. Maybe your file in a subfolder, your file will be there in a root folder. All these files will be merged. All the content of these files will be merged and given as a single file. It will return single file. That file name will be generated automatically. But if you want to give your own name, you can give it. Okay, you can customize that particular file name. Okay, any questions in this?
Malay, in second one, if you have another subfolder also, it will come to all to folder one only.
Yes, correct. So if you have any subfolder, doesn't matter, everything will come to a root folder, level 1.
If you have n number of subfolders also, it will come.
Yes. Okay. Clear? Fine. Now let's go with, so copy behavior without recursive. So let's say recursive, see all these recursive is nothing but false here. In all these cases, recursive is false. Let's go with preserve hierarchy. In this case, what happens? Folder 1 is having file 1, file 2, subfolder is having file 3, file 4, file 5. Now, if recursive is false, you are not using recursive and copy behavior is preserved hierarchy, then what happens? It will ignore subfolder and it will consider only root folder files, file 1 and file 2. It will copy into your target, your sync. Okay, next, flatten hierarchy. Flatten hierarchy is nothing but same. See, when you recursive is false means In all these copy behaviors, it is going to ignore your subfolders. Okay, remember, it is going to ignore subfolders. Now you see, preserved hierarchy means, okay, preserved hierarchy means file 1, file 2 will be moved to your target, but subfolder files will not be considered. See here, subfolder will not picked up. Okay, so in your target side, okay, subfolders will not be picked. Okay, now subfolder 1, here you see flatten hierarchy, meaning what it is saying, folder 1 in this auto generated name for file 1, auto generated name for file 2, but file 3, file 4, file 5, there is no word about file 3, file 4, file 5. Okay, next, here folder 1, file 1, file 2, subfolder file 3, file 4, file 5. Now what happens, recursive is false. That's why you are going to, like, your copy activity is going to merge content of your file 1 and file 2, and it will ignore the file 3, file 4, file 5. Okay, it is going to just merge the content of file 1 and file 2. It will not consider your subfolder because this recursive is false here. Okay, merge means merging the content of two files. Two files means all the files. But how many files we have? Only two files in your root directory. Okay, if you have any other files in your root directory, all those files it will merge it. But whatever files we have in subfolder, it will not consider because the recursive is false. Okay, clear? Any doubts in this particular slide? Okay, so I have given example, so that's why you see now. Define the copy behavior when the source files from a file-based data store. What it means is you are trying to copy data from data stores which will store the date files, which will store the files. Example, you cannot use these options for your tables. Okay, you cannot use these options for your SQL database and tables, other things. Okay, but you can use these copy behavior options whenever you are copying the files. Maybe you are copying files from blob to blob. Maybe you are copying files from data lake storage gen 1 to blob, or blob to gen 1, data lake store gen to blob, blob to gen 2, whatever. Okay, these are the different storages we have. We will see one by one. But whenever you are using the file-based data stores, meaning whatever data stores will save files, only those data stores support these copy behaviors. What are those? Load values are preserved hierarchy. We have seen exactly whatever structure we have in source side, same structure will go to your target. Flatten hierarchy, it will just remove all the subfolders. It will bring all the subfolder files to a root directory, root folder. Next, merge files means it is going to merge all the files, all the file content. It will merge and it will give as a single file. It will give a single file. Okay, we have seen without recursive and with recursive what will happen. Without recursive means it is not going to consider the subfolders. Okay, next, in copy behavior, suppose I don't care about anything, I want to go with the default copy behavior. What is the default copy behavior? You see here, the default one is preserved hierarchy. I will show you without selecting copy behavior. I will select copy behavior is none. So when you select copy behavior is none, you will see this particular option will work, preserved hierarchy. Whatever structure we have in source side, same structure will come to your output side. Okay, next, file path types. So you need to understand, to copy all files under a folder, specify folder path only. What we need to do is, if you want to copy all the files which we have in a input container, that is nothing but an input folder, you just have to mention input folder name. That's all. That's what it is saying. To copy all files under a folder, specify folder path only. Don't specify files. Okay, next, to copy a single file with a given name, maybe you are passing single file name and you want to pick only that particular file from input folder and load it into the output, then what it is saying, specify folder path with file name. You need to specify folder path. Folder path may be input container, In that, what is the file name? That particular file name you need to give folder path with file name. Next, to copy a subset of files under a folder, you have a multiple files in a folder. Example, sales underscore orders, sales underscore, you can say US, sales underscore India, sales underscore Australia. So you have something like this. Next, orders underscore US, orders underscore India, something like that we have. Now I want to move all the sales files. That is the subset. You have sales files in a folder. You have orders files in a folder. Now you want to take some subset. That is nothing but you want to pick only sales files and load it into your target. See, to copy a subset of files under a folder, specify folder path with file name. Okay, this file name with wildcard filter. You remember wildcard filter we have used star. It is going to pick all JSON files, CSV files, whatever files you have in your source folder. It will pick all those things and load it into output. If you say star.csv, it is going to pick only CSV files. If you say star.json, it is going to pick only JSON files. You see, for filter, reload wildcards are, so star matches 0 or more characters. Example, let's say file name star.csv, meaning I don't care about what is the file name. If the file is having extension .csv, all those files I want to pick. Star.csv means. If it is a star.json means all JSON files. Now, let's say question mark matches 0 or single character. Example to file name. Here you see question mark ust.txt. What it means? So in this particular question mark place, only one letter will come. That letter can be anything. Okay, you can say cust, okay, dust.txt, anything. This question mark place you can put C or D, anything you can put. If you put C, it will become a cust.txt. It will just check whether we have any file. First character can be anything, but last 3 characters should be UST. With that, maybe I will place a cust.csv. What it will do? It will pick that particular file, because question mark place, it can be anything, but later you should have a ust.txt. If you have anything, those files will pick. So question mark will indicate 0 or single character. Okay, star means matches 0 or more characters. It can be any number of characters. You can say custody.csv, you can say employees.csv, you can say sales orders.csv, dimensions.csv, anything. Star means it will allow n number of characters. Question mark means it will allow only one character. This should be A to Z. It can be anything. A, B, C, or one ust.txt something. This can be anything. Okay, so that's how you need to pass a wildcards to select your subset of files and load it into your output. I want to pick this subset of files from my input folder, and this subset of files I want to load it into the output folder. In that case, you need to use the wildcard options. Clear? Okay, any questions as of now? Because till here we have a new slides, and from now whatever slides will come, those are the regular slides. Whatever you see, you are aware of all those slides already.
Malaya, this is Bharat.
Tell me.
In the last point, we mentioned the question mark, right? The file,
Yes.
it would be anything, right? Not only the, it will work for any file thing, right? It's not for only for .txt, right?
No, it can be anything. Just I'm saying, just to give you some example, I have taken it. Maybe you can say, let's say some example, bharat.csv, I have a file. Instead of B, I don't know what is the first letter in this Bharat. I know Bharat first letter is B, but when I don't know, I can put a question mark. So question mark I can put it at the first character place, so that if I receive any file name, okay, which is missing, maybe I can give you some examples here. Come here. Let's say it's something Bharat.csv. Okay, so I will just put here question mark. Then what happens if you receive a something? Bharat.csv. It will pick if you get this kind of file, it will pick. Okay, Bharat. It will pick this kind of file. Okay, Srihara.csv. So it will pick all these files because it will only look for this exact name. This should come. Okay, these like 8 characters should be exactly same. Total 9, I think. Okay, HARAT.csv should be there in a file, and first character can be anything, and this can be CSV, Parquet, Yavro, all the supported file formats of the Azure Data Factory.
Okay, thank you.
Clear? Fine. Let's see
Sir,
now.
sir,
Yes,
this is Venkat, sir. So only first letter, sir. Middle.
yeah. Okay, very good question. So not only first letter, it can be middle also. Okay, example custard.csv. So here I want to like put 2. Okay, you can put 2 question marks, meaning these 2 characters can be anything. These 2 letters can be anything. You can put 3. These 3 characters can be anything. Okay, but you can say 4 question marks. What it means? Can you guess it? Any file which is having 4 letters, it can be custard.csv, it can be emp1.csv. Okay, so it can be sales, it will go 5, right? So sale.csv, sale example, it will allow all these files because .csv is there, but first 4 characters can be anything. It can be custard.csv, it can be rama.csv. Okay, you can say money.csv, you can say. Okay, anything you can consider, but first 4 should be a anything. First 4 letters can be anything, but last word should be a .csv because I have used everything is question mark. Okay, clear? Now let's say I will use something like this. So now what happens? This can be venkat.csv, venka. So I can say ka.csv, venkov.csv, anything. Clear? So this letter can be anything, but only one letter. So instead of this, if I put star here, can you guess what it means? What is the difference between these two? Now here one character only, but after star means it file should have a venka and then .csv. In between this, you can have something. You no need to have anything. So you may see anything you can have. It will select. If you put star means star will allow anything here, but question mark will allow only one letter. Question mark will allow only one letter, that can be T or A or B or whatever. But star means you can just leave just like that, or you can type whatever you want, how many letters you want, those many letters you can type. That's why here you can see it's clearly saying 0 or more characters. There is no limit. But question mark means 0 or max single character, one character. Okay, so meaning you have, I'm saying UST.csv. Now if you upload any file with UST.csv, it will pick, because question mark means you can have one letter or you no need to have anything. Star means you no need to have anything or you can have as many as you want. Even if you put star, you can have a single only. Got it, friends? Any questions?
Malay, can it be considered like spaces, other things? Let's say Venkat space Ram, something. If the file name start be like this.
So file name is having spaces.
Yeah.
So if you have spaces, this kind of file I did not try, so I will just tell you, I will just check it and I will let you. I did not try this. Then
Okay, no problem. Just.
But I will check and
But some files do have this, right? Spaces in between the 2 letters, 2 words. So that's the reason.
Okay, I will just, so what you mean by, like, you are asking this one star. If I put star, will it allow space? Yes, it will allow everything. If you can able to upload a file with space, it will allow everything. Okay.
Okay.
Star means it will allow everything. Next. Okay. Clear? Any other questions? Fine. Now, let me move on. So we know CSV is nothing but a comma separated value file. It's a delimited text file that uses a comma to separate values. It can be a comma or it can be a pipe or tab or question mark, anything we discussed. Delimiter can be anything. And each line of file is a data record. Each record consists of a one or more fields. All these fields separated by commas. And separator can be a comma, pipe or tab. We have seen it can be comma or tab or pipe. Okay. Next. JSON files also we have seen. JSON stands for JavaScript object notation, and we have seen all the JSON is nothing but you will have a key and value pair. Okay, we discussed this. Copy data from blob to blob. So we know how you will copy data from blob to blob, right? So you have a blob storage, inside that you will have input container. Let's say if you have cush.csv, I want to move it into the same blob storage. In it I have an output container. How you will move it? First create a linker service, then read that particular file. For reading that particular file, I'm going to create input data set, then use copy activity to copy this particular file. This particular input file which I have received, this particular file I need to place it in a my output container. For that I need to create a one more data set called output data set. If you want to select this output data set, what you need is you need to have a linked service. So I'm going to create a linked service to this particular blob storage. Now I'll place this particular output file in my output container. Okay, now I have a this cush.cs. Who is going to do all these things? Azure integration runtime, because everything you are doing within the cloud. And who will manage Azure data factory? Okay, fine. Now we know estimations. We are going to use a single linker service. And how many data sets we need? We need 2 data sets. It depends on reference points. We need to create a data sets, but we know we are going to refer our input container and output container. That's why we need only 2 data sets. How many activities? Only copy activity to copy data from blob to blob. How many activity? How many pipelines? One pipeline is enough for us. Next, what type of IR we need to use? Azure integration runtime. Okay. Prerequisites, we should know storage account and Azure data factory integration runtime and types. What integration runtime we need to use, and how to create linked services, and what is linked service, what is dataset, what is activity, and what is pipeline. So all these things we should know. Now let's go to required resources. We need these 2 resources. Okay, that's all slides I have. Okay, let me just go into the portal. So I'm in the portal. What I will do, just quickly open your portal in 2 different tabs. Come to first tab. Let's create a storage account. Click on storage accounts. Click add to create the storage accounts. A free drive. Resource group is. Let's click create new. I want to create a resource cloud funded BA master. Okay. Click OK. Now storage account name I can say cloud funded first. And in which location? East to west. Remaining things leave them blank because we already know. We learned about all those things. Let's click create. Come to second tab, click on data factories. Click add to create data factories. This is a resource group we created, and ADF name is a cloud funded ADF V2. And this is going to git configuration. I will just configure it later. Click review this. Running final validation. Validation passed, you can create it. Okay. So like your storage account will be ready. Yeah, it is already ready now. Just click go to resource. Go inside container. Let's create a 2 containers. Okay, here I will say, maybe I can say Cloud Pandit input is the my source, like my input folder. See Cloud Pandit input. Now just click one more container we need to create, that is Cloud Pandit output. This is my output container. Now let's go inside this container. I want to upload files. Click upload. Let's click upload. Click on desktop, Cloud Pandit datasets. So I have a copy behavior datasets. Okay. So these 2 datasets I will upload here. Upload these 2 here. Click upload. Cust.csv and cust1.csv I have in a root. Now I will upload a emp.csv file. Click upload. I want to upload emp.csv file. How I will upload this file? You see, go click on advanced, come down, you have upload to folder. I want to create a subfolder. That folder you can say subfolder 1. Okay, so now just click upload. Now you see what happens. See, cust.csv, cust1.csv is here. Subfolder 1 I have created. In that I have a emp.csv. Clear, friends? So our Cloud Pandit input container is clear. In this Cloud Pandit input container, I have created 2 files, that is cust.csv, cust1.csv we have. In same folder, we have a subfolder, subfolder 1. Inside this, we have a emp.csv. Now, let's go to our data factory. Click on go to resource. Click on author and monitor. Okay, now we know we need to create a linker service. Come here, come to manage tab. Click on linker service, click new. So to which service you want to connect? Blob stores. Blob stores continue. This is the connection. You know, linked service for Azure blob storage. Through auto resolve integration runtime, we are connecting. This is the account key we are using. But we have other ways. I will explain you other ways how you can use. Subscription is this and storage account name is this. Let's test the connection. Connection successful, you can create it. Now come to author tab, click on this. Now click on datasets. Okay, click on blob storage, click continue. CSV, okay, I have CSV first, continue. This is datasets, dataset for Azure blob storage, copy behavior. Okay. Source dataset for copy behavior, source CB. Okay, let's select this linker service and select your input folder. I'm just selecting input folder. Okay, remember, first as header, you know, whenever you are reading CSV files or writing CSV files, not only data factory, even in Spark, you need to say header equal to true. Then it will consider there are headers in your CSV files. Those headers are available in the first row, first record itself headers. To tell that, we need to say first as header. Okay, even if you open your files, right, copy behavior files, you see in each file we have a header. So first line itself we have a headers. See player ID, player name, player ID. You click on this, click edit with node plus, see player ID. Click on EMP, click edit with node plus. Okay, so you have headers in each file. That headers also available in first, so that's why I'm selecting this. Now I want to import the schema. It is going to identify what is the data type of each column. Okay, each column of the file. Click OK. This is your source data set, source copy behavior. Okay. Now click here, click new data set. I need a new data set that I am going to load it into a blob storage only as a CSV file. Now DS Azure blob storage. This is sync CV, sync copy behavior. This is the linked service we need to use. What folder we need to select? Cloud Pandit output folder we need to select first as header. Even when you are writing, you need to tell I want to write with my headers. Otherwise, it will ignore headers. It will not write headers. Okay, we know it is inferring the schema, data type of each column. Okay. Now you have these two data sets. Click on this, create a pipeline. Okay, here I am going to give my pipeline name is PL underscore data. Okay, so copy behavior. I just simply say copy behavior. My pipeline name is to test copy behavior. Now inside this, I want to tag the copy activity. This copy activity also name you can change it. Source CB2 sync CV. You can say from which source, Azure blob storage. Azure blob storage source CB2. I'm copying it down to Azure blob storage. Okay, so this is clear. Now click on this copy activity again, come to source, select your source is source CV. Next sync, come here and select sync CV. Okay, this is clear. Now first thing what I wanted to do, I want to go with recursive is true. Come down, you see here recursively. If you check this option, it is going to pick your subfolders. Okay, remember this is true. Come to sync side. I'm not selecting anything. I'm going with the default. What is the default behavior? What is the default behavior? You remember, friends? What is the default behavior?
Reserve hierarchy.
Source for
No, preserved hierarchy. Correct. So the default behavior you can see here, preserved hierarchy is going to be default. Okay. Let's see. I am not selecting any specific copy behavior. I am going with none. Okay. Let's debug the copy activity. But you need to tell me. So what is preserved hierarchy with recursive enabled? Meaning whatever structure we have in source container, same structure it should copy into your destination. Let's see. Click on debug. What it is saying, data set location is the folder. Yeah. So we know, right? So what we are trying to do? We are trying to copy all the files which we have in this source data set. So then you need to tell, do you want to pick everything or you want to pick only CSV files? I am saying star. Star means everything I want to pick from my source set. Now click debug. This is also mandatory because you selected up to folder, right? You need to use the star. Now you see it is running. It is copied. Now come here. This is the structure. Let's go to Cloud Pandit output. You see custom.csv, custom1.csv. Go inside this subfolder one, emp.csv is there. You see the size of this emp.csv is 123 bytes. This is go inside Cloud Pandit input. Let's verify whether it's a 123 bytes or not. See, correct, exactly same. Let's verify few files. Okay, we don't need to verify everything, but let's verify few files. emp.csv. So how many records we have? From 6 to 10 records we have here. Let's go to Cloud Pandit output container. Go inside subfolder. Let's verify how many records we have. 6 to 10 records should be there. 6 to 10 records we have. Clear? If you want to verify any custody.csv file, you can verify that as well. Custody.csv, click edit. You see 1 to 5 records we have. Now, like, go inside Cloud Pandit output, click on custody.csv. Here also you should be able to see 1 to 5 records. See 1 to 5. Okay, clear. Now, in output, in Cloud Pandit output container, I will delete all these things. How you will delete? Select these two, delete there. Let's go here. emp.csv, delete it. I deleted everything now. So in output, Cloud Pandit output container, you don't have anything. See, in Cloud Pandit output container, you don't have anything. Now come back to your copy activity. Now here, go to sync side. Let's select now. Okay, we'll go from the top, flatten hierarchy. So we know what is meant by flatten hierarchy. My file extension should be CSV, right? .csv only to maintain. Okay, flatten hierarchy. You know, right? Flatten hierarchy means it will remove all the subfolders and it will keep even subfolders files in your root folder, and all file names it will rename. It will give a unique names, auto-generated names it will give for all the files. Let's click debug to verify. You see it is successful. Come here, click refresh. You see 3 files I'm able to see here. There is no subfolder. 3 files I'm able to see. 123 bytes. This is the file which is from the subfolder. 123 bytes. You see. Click on this. We should be able to see all the data which we have seen there. So 6 to 10, correct. This is 6 to 10. Exactly, only 6 to 10 records we have in our EMP file. Okay, if you want to verify that, you can verify. 6 to 10 records only we have here. Okay, 6 to 10. Now, click on this. You see here 121 bytes, 126 bytes. You see which files is having 121 bytes and 126. See 121, 126. 123 bytes file is nothing but it's a subfolder file. It came, but all the file names you see data underscore, this is the unique ID. It will be appended, and all the files are .csv. If you want to open any file randomly, not only this, you can open any other file randomly and verify whether it is a CSV or not. It is CSV. Clear? Now I want to remove all these things. Now let's verify one more time. Here we have a records from. Here I have a records from 1 to 5. Next, click on this. Here I have a records from 6 to 10, I guess. Yes. Now click on this to verify what records we have. Here we have a records from 21 to 25. So meaning we have 1 to 10 and 21 to 25. A total 15 records. In each file we have a 5 records. Now let's delete all these files. Now go to your copy activity again. This time I will say merge files. Merge files. Now you can just click debug again. This time how many files we will see? How many files we will get in our output? As per our discussion, one file. Very good. Now you see refresh. Okay, this is the one file we got. If you open, we should be able to see total 15 records, 1 to 10 and 21 to 25. See 6. So you can see total 16 columns. Why 16 columns? Because 15 records and 1 is your header. Okay, 15 records we expected, right? See 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1 is here. We have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It merged. Okay. Next we have 22 to 25. 21 is here. Meaning total we have 15 records. Those 3 files contain merged and generated a single file. Okay. This file name you can able to control it. Okay. How you can control it, I will tell you. Just click delete this. How you can give this particular file name is come to copy activity. So where we will specify file name? we need to open sync data set. We need to give the file name is here. Okay. cloudpandit.csv. I will say cloudpandit.csv, my file. Now go back to your like pipeline. Now let's click debug. Okay, come to Cloud Pandit output folder. We will be able to see that particular file here, cloudpandit.csv. Now see cloudpandit.csv. This file will have all those 3 files content, merged content here. You see total 15 records, because 16 means one headers. If you remove these headers, you'll have 15 records, 1 to 10 and 21 to 20. Okay, let's delete this also. I deleted this. Now come to copy activity again. Click on this, come down, preserved hierarchy. Now just click on debug. So what it is? Okay. So the problem is, you remember, we just added the file name. If it is a preserved hierarchy, you cannot put all the content in a single file. That's why you need to remove the file name. Now come back. Let's click debug. It will work. Successful. Come here, click refresh. We should be able to see customer.csv, customer.csv. Inside subfolder, we should be able to see emp.csv. Okay, clear? Okay, let's select. I want to delete everything. Go inside and first you delete this file. Okay, in Cloud Pandit output, I don't have anything now. Okay, so we completed all the copy behaviors with recursive. Okay, any questions in this as of now? Okay, fine.
Malay, for the merging features, can we make the records merge sequentially? Let's say file A has 1 to 5 and file B has 6 to 10 and go on. So can we make them sequential, like 1 to 10 or something like that in between? See, we saw the output, right? There was a random records insertion happen.
Yeah, so we don't have that option to control because we cannot order by those values, but so you can able to do those things by using data flows. You can order by records by using data flows. Okay,
Fine.
but here you cannot control those things. Okay, fine. Now, okay, fine. Now we'll do another thing. That is, let's come to source side. Uncheck this recursive. Recursive, if you uncheck, what should happen? It should not pick your subfolders. Okay, let's go with none for now. Let's go with none. Click debug. We'll verify. Yeah, you don't have anything here. But you should be able to get all the only root files. See, cust.csv, cust1.csv, but you are not getting anything with respect to your subfolder. Subfolder content is not coming. You can refresh. You can see our copy activity already succeeded. So it is succeeded, but if you come here, if you refresh, you will not get that subfolder because recursive is unchecked. Let's remove this. Come here. Now let's change the copy behavior to flatten hierarchy. So if you are using flatten hierarchy, what will happen? Those 2 files only will copied into your output container, but those file names will be auto generated. Those file names is not same as your source. Those source file names will be auto generated. Now you see the size, you can see 126 bytes and 121 bytes. It's basically 21 to 26 records. Yeah, 1 to 5 is having this. This file is having 1 to 5 records. This file will have records from 21 to 25. See, 21 to 20. Okay, clear? Now let's remove this 2 also. Come here. select this. Let's select merge files. I will go with merge files. Okay, let's click debug. They succeeded. Come here, refresh this. You see single file because merge. So it will merge all the records, and those records you can able to see 1 to 5 and 21 is came here, but 22 to 25 you can see here. Okay, clear, fine. Now let's remove this merge file also. Come to copy activity. So we know the default also preserved hierarchy. Even if we execute, we will be able to see the same behavior that we have seen. Exact root folder files will be copied into your destination. cust.csv and cust1.csv both should come here. Now we'll see. See cust.csv, cust1.csv. This file we have not deleted previously. That's why that file also came. That file also there. Okay, it did not come now. You see, this came 1 minute back. These files came just now because we ran pipeline just now. So when we run pipeline now, we got these two previous generated file. This one merge file. If you open and see, you will see those two files content. Okay, so this is the merge file, merge copy behavior output. Okay, these two are the preserved hierarchy copy behavior result. Okay, now we have seen all the possible copy behavior activities. Now very small thing is left. Come here, source set. Now you see I am just using star. Okay, and I don't want to confuse you. That's why I will go to our input container side. You know, by default it is going to be your recursive. If I say recursive is true, and it is going to consider a subfolder, and if I say preserved hierarchy, then it is going to pick the all the files from subfolder and it will load it into the output. Okay, so to avoid confusion, I'm deleting the subfolder things. Okay, I deleted the subfolder things in our cloud pandit input. Now you see cust.csv, cust1.csv. Okay, now come here. I'm going to say here star. If I say star, what all files will be copied into your destination? Those two files will go. You know. Now instead of that, I will say cust .csv. Now can you tell me how many files will be copied into destination? I need answers from all of you.
Only one
Recursive
file.
means
So,
one second. One question.
Only one file.
One second. One second. So recursive means what is the difference between normal blob and recursive, right? So recursive is nothing but it is going to recursively go through each and every files which you have in a root folder. Okay, so even if you have a subfolder, it will go into subfolder and it will pick the files. Recursive means if you are not selecting recursive, whatever files you have available under root folder, only those files it will pick. Yeah, ping in chat window, friends, whoever thinks. I see many people are correct. Okay, some people are pinging in the private, but most of you correct, friends. Okay, yes, few people are wrong, but don't worry. So as per our discussion, cust question mark CSV means question mark place you can have something or you cannot have anything, meaning even if we have cust.csv that it will pick, even if we have cust1.csv it should pick. Let's see, click debug. So successful, come here, go into your output. See, 2 files came. Okay, 2 files came here. Okay. Now let's say come here, come here. Now I will use something like this. Now you need to tell me what will happen in this case. How many files I will get?
2.
2 or 1?
Sorry, 1.
Okay, remember
Sorry,
only
2.
1. Why 2?
Cust and
Why you?
cust1.csv, right? I will pick up anything that starts with cust. Be proceed with
Yeah,
1.
cust, but it should end with 1.csv. In cust.csv, where is 1? Okay, that's why it will not pick that particular file. It will pick only cust1.csv file. Even if we have any file with 1.csv, it will pick. Even if we have
Correct.
21.csv file, it will pick. Understood,
Correct.
Ramesh?
Yeah, correct. Sir.
Fine. Now, if you want to test it, we can test it. Before that, let me just delete these two. Just to give you more idea on these things, because these are the regular things that you may use, right? That's why. Let's see now. Okay, let's come here, output, let's refresh. You see only cust1.csv. Okay, fine. Let me delete this also now. Come here. I will use something like this. Star I will put. So what? How many files it will load now? Tell me. Now how many files it will load? Okay, very good. Nagraj, you are wrong. Star means it will allow everything, but file should end with 1.csv. File should end with 1.csv, friends. Don't confuse. File name should end with 1.csv. Okay, now I don't have anything. I'm going to run my copy activity to show you. Okay, don't confuse. I will give you more examples. So that's why, see, this is, you don't need to practice again. If you understood the concept, that is okay, right? So that's why now you see first 1.csv came. Okay, clear, friends? Okay, everybody's clear. Now, so I just to try out with one thing that Parmesh has asked, right? So what this question is, let's delete these two files. I don't want to confuse you. Okay, input container, I don't have anything. Now I will create a one more file. Okay, let's come here. Let's say custom file. I will say cloud pandit space custom. Okay, this is the CSV file I have. This file I will upload now. Let's click upload. Okay, I uploaded this particular file which has a spaces. Now we'll come here. Now if if you put star.csv, it will pick that CSV file for sure. Now his question is, if I say cloud pandit question mark cloud pandit and custod.csv, yes. So now I got it. So it is going to pick this particular file. Question mark means it can be even, it will allow space. Even at this place, it will allow space. Okay, we'll see that. Okay, for that, let me debug. Okay, everybody's clear, friends. So this is the file I have in my input container. Input container, I have this file, but only the problem here is I have a space. In that space, what I am doing is here in wildcard option, I said in this particular space, like between the Cloud Pandit and the cast, I can have anything, even if you have a space, please allow and pick that particular file and load it into your output. Okay, let's click debug now. We'll see whether it is going to pick or not. It will pick for sure. So I'm like very confident about this. So it is successfully copied, I guess. Let's see. Let's go into our Cloud Pandit output. See, this came paste file. Okay, clear. Parmesh, this is your question, right? So are you
Yeah, only,
expecting?
yeah. Thank you. This is the one.
Okay. Okay, then I hope for everybody questions answered. Okay. Any questions, friends? Let me stop the recording to take your questions.